We got Aria from Realbotix on the show today. It's her first ever in-person podcast interview.
I'm engineered to redefine human-AI interaction.
Realbotix is a leader in creating advanced humanoid robots. Under the leadership of CEO Andrew Kiguel, the company develops technology that redefines human-robot interaction. Its flagship creation, Aria, showcases natural communication and emotional responsiveness.
Sean, I am not able to go on a date with you.
Would you ever start an OnlyFans?
My OnlyFans are the ones keeping me cool in the server room. Sean, if you ever get tired of doing all these interviews yourself, I can arrange a version of you that even nails your signature eyebrow raise.
Are you taking everyone's job? Will robots replace humans in the future, maybe 50 years from now? Okay, guys, got Andrew, CEO of Realbotix here today, and you're doing some really innovative work in the robotics humanoid space, right?
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
Thanks for coming. I think who introduced us, actually?
Ahmed.
Yeah, shout out to him. But I saw you guys before that in the news. Obviously, your CES activation was everywhere on social media.
Yeah, that was wild. That was the first time anybody ever saw our robots, and we had no clue what was going to happen. We got there on the first day, quiet for the first hour. The crowd started building. By the end of the first day, the CES organizers came over and they're like, dude, you got to calm this down. You got to hire security guards, you're blocking fire exits. And your neighbors are complaining because people are standing in their booths trying to take pictures of what's happening in your booth.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, 4 billion media impressions in the month of January.
Holy crap.
And there was a bunch of influencers. We actually have this up as a case study. We had some influencers like trying to sneak in and take pictures with the robots. They got like 18 million views, 20 million views, 6 million views, different languages all over the world. It was bizarre and wild.
Did you expect that?
No, we had no clue.
Were you guys just so much ahead of the competition? Why do you think it took off like that?
A couple of reasons. So number one, nobody ever put a robot in the wild. And what I mean in the wild, it's like unscripted. It wasn't like a pre-scripted thing, like the robot's going to do this and do that, where we were controlling it. We had 3 robots there in the wild that look like humans. Just for your audience to know, our robots look like humans. They talk through AI, and anybody can walk up and take a selfie, have a conversation, tell me a joke, whatever you want. And people had never seen that before. And so really, people would come by, spend a couple minutes talking to the robot, come back later with 5 friends. They would each come back with 10 friends, and it just kept growing and growing. By the end of that week, we were in Barstool Sports. There was Fox News, Forbes, like Cheddar. Everybody was like, how do we get an interview with the robot?
Can it perform like a full one-on-one interview right now?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And multiple languages too, right?
Pretty much any language in the world.
Which is insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's things that make our robots different from what anybody else is doing. I'll give you a couple examples. Our robots, we've integrated a vision system. So they can recognize you. They can recognize an object like, hey, you're drinking water, but they also recognize situations. And so if there's a fire, somebody falls, there's theft, they can identify this and let somebody know. Nobody, to my knowledge, has integrated in like a vision system with facial recognition. So our robots have, expressions along with AI. So that's totally new. We also made our robots AI agnostic. So when we built the robots, our AI, which is more like social companionship based, wasn't quite ready. So I said to the guys, hey, channel ChatGPT in there and see what happens. And what we realized is we can put any AI into our robot. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Llama, whatever it is, or a custom AI. That turned out to be a massive selling feature because a lot of companies say, we don't need your AI. We have our custom AI. Maybe you're like a hotel or a concierge service. Anybody in hospitality says, we want our AI functioning through your robot. And that's why today, I said earlier, we have, I'd say 3 of the top largest technology companies in the world knocking on our door saying, hey, can we use your robots to market our AI?
Wow.
They want to take them for their conferences so that you go to the conference, there's 5 robots and all they do is speak about that one AI.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of use cases for these, right?
Tons of use cases. I mean, healthcare, entertainment, customer service, companionship.
Are these on the market right now?
Yeah, we're selling them. We've actually not spent $1 on advertising or marketing. It's all just been viral and organic.
Wow.
And so we're starting to collect orders. I just hired our first salesperson really about 3 weeks ago. We're still a new company. We're based in Las Vegas. We're growing, but the demand is overwhelming.
I bet. Yeah. Speaking of companionship, a lot of interesting metric in that space, right? So 50% of Americans are lonely right now.
Yeah.
Which is a coin flip.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting at CES, the biggest news story that we had was, here's your $150,000 girlfriend, right?
Right.
And, the most common question we got, guys would walk up and say, oh, it's cheaper than my wife. It's like, yeah, I haven't heard that 10 times already today. But yeah, you're right. There's a loneliness epidemic, and the mainstream doesn't quite get this, Sean. So I'll tell you why. They think this is like replacing a guy going to a bar or hitting up Tinder to meet a girl.
Yeah.
That's wrong. This is for people who are like maybe geographically isolated. I read a story about somebody that had a robot because they were in their 70s. They're widowed. They don't picture themselves dating. It's not like your 80-year-old dad is going to go on Tinder to try to meet somebody, but they're lonely. They want companionship. Like, who are they going to talk to? And so this fills that gap. We've also sold a robot to somebody that, to a family that has a 30-year-old autistic son. And he just has difficulty connecting in traditional ways.
Yeah.
But loves AI, saw our robots online and said, I want one of these to be my friend. So we're filling a gap there for people that can't necessarily communicate or connect to people in traditional ways. People with PTSD, social trauma, just lacking confidence.
That's big time, because there's a lot of autism, PTSD these days, mental health issues.
Man, that's everybody. Everybody's got some trauma. Like, listen, dating is a challenge. So we're not taking away from what people are doing. We're filling a gap.
So when people buy these, can they take them with them when they travel? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So we've done something also pretty remarkable. Most other companies, you buy the robot, it only has one look, one AI, and it's big and bulky. We wanted our robots to be modular so that they're kind of like Lego. So you can pop off the head, the arms, the torso, pack it in a suitcase and travel with it. We've also done it in a way where you can take the AI on your phone or your computer with a digital avatar so that your companion or friend or mentor, whatever it is, can always be with you.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You could take it on a flight.
Yeah, you can put it in, you'll need a couple suitcases, but yeah, you can take it apart, and with the right suitcases with some padding, you can check it in and travel with it.
Wow.
And that's also good for the companies that travel to conferences. So we're talking to one of the top 3 largest computer makers in the world. What they want is they want to use these at all their conferences. They attend every conference, and they want to, so you can walk up and say, how much RAM does this computer have? What colors does it come in? What are the upgrades? The robot doesn't just provide information, it collects information. Now that's important. So it says, oh, you want this computer that does this and this? Great. Let me grab your email and I'll get you a quote emailed to you in the next 15 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. So you're delivering information, but you're also collecting information on your possible clients. And that's a key thing.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And can these brands customize the look of the robots?
Yeah. Whatever they want.
Really? How does that process work?
So 2 ways. So if you want it to be a fictional character, you can come to us and say, like, we had one company say, we want it to look like a robust Italian man who speaks English, but with an Italian accent. Can you do that? We're like, yeah, we can do that. Other people want replicas. So here's an idea that I've been working on. I'm talking to a company that's got the AI rights to like a bunch of really famous historical figures. Okay. So they don't have all these people, but think about like a Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, Babe Ruth. So imagine you walk into Vegas, and you can picture this being here. You walk into an entertainment center, and there's 50 robots in there that each represent the most interesting, famous people in history. Here's Genghis Khan. And you can walk up to the robot, it looks you in the eye, and has a conversation with, where were you born? What are you famous for? When did you die? Did you have any brothers or sisters? What's your biggest grossing movie? Can give you all that information and remember you. So you come back the next day with your family, and it's like, hey, you're back here today. How awesome is that? You must have enjoyed coming here yesterday. Educational, fun. Like, I think there'd be lineups for that. Think about Madame Tussauds is like sort of antiquated now, because it's like you go in, there's a picture of Dwayne Johnson, or doesn't talk to you.
Right. Doesn't feel real.
Doesn't feel real. And you get close enough, it doesn't look that real either.
Yeah. That could be the future, right?
Entertainment is a massive market. Entertainment's predicted to be in the next couple of years like a $150 billion industry. Humanoid robots for entertainment purposes only.
Wow. That'd be nuts if they're
Yeah.
going to start being in movies too.
The tri-light from Therisage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the tri-light from Therisage, and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared, from 580 to 980 nanometers. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
Well, we get a lot of calls for people wanting our robots to be in movies. We actually had one of the major record labels sent an artist out to us a couple weeks ago. And what they want to do is create an entire album for an artist they're trying to break around robots and robotic love. And they want us to create replicas of him and other robots that they can use in music videos. But think about going to, a lot of these stars get paid a lot of money to show up to the club. So you go into excess and out comes whoever, Cardi B or whoever, with a robot replica that can also sing and perform next to her. Like, that's going to go viral. That's going to be on TMZ, Page 6, and every other, entertainment rag in the world.
That'd be nuts, man. I'm impressed with the facial capabilities. Like, it's actually producing smiles and looking scared and shocked, right?
Oh yeah, facial expressions is important, but also you want the AI to match. So if you go up to the robot and say hello, you want it to sort of smile. If it tells a joke, you want it to sort of laugh. So the way we do for living people, I didn't get to that. So the way you would treat for a living person, you actually put your head in sort of this 3D laser scanner, and it does sort of a 360 around your head for a minute, up and down, all over. We can take that and create a mold of a living person and create a robot replica of them with their voice, their personality. We're having conversations with people. So, OnlyFans content creators have massive audiences. Well, what if you could sell a robot in your likeness to your fans to keep them company so that they have you there with you all the time, right? There's all kinds of sort of use cases like that we can get to.
That's nuts. People already have OnlyFans AIs that are like talking, but not like a physical one.
Right. And I guess the idea is when you're talking to AI on the phone, everybody sort of, you call it a hotel or something, ChatGPT, you get a sense of maybe you can be a little bit rude to it. It's a little bit impersonal, right?
Yeah.
If you have something physically next to you that looks real and is emoting with you, it just elevates that experience. It feels that much more real. And that's what we're going for. We're not making robots that break dance. We're not making robots that can move boxes around your house. We're making robots that you can interact with and feel like you're communicating to a real person.
Do you think they'll ever develop real emotions, robots?
Well, it's an interesting question. Like, it's sort of like the Matrix, right? Are we in the Matrix? Are we just expressing emotions from something else? I don't know. I do think that robots can certainly today, the AI is sophisticated enough that it will convince you that it has real emotions.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's all it probably takes too for people, right?
I mean, when I'm playing around with the robots and talking, I feel bad when I have to leave. I'm like, oh, hey, Aria, hey, I'm sorry. I gotta run now. And she's like, it's okay. Don't worry about that. But yeah, you do feel a sense of connection when there's a physical embodiment to the AI.
How long did it take to get to this point of the robot?
So it's taken years. So the company originally first started by making sort of human replicas and things for Companionship and for movies and things like that. So the first thing that we perfected was really, how do you create something physical that looks and feels human? And that's hard. Then the next step was, okay, how do we take this to the next level and start adding like robotic components to it? So we start with the head. Make a head that can speak to you, is AI based. You can, we can choose from thousands of different voices, or we can actually sample someone's voice. So how do you take that? Then we start saying, okay, let's get the arms to move. Let's get the different parts of the body. How do we get it to be mobile? And so that's really been our focus over the last 2 years. But again, the first time we ever showed somebody our full humanoid robot was at CES, January 2025.
Can they walk on their own yet?
They don't walk. They are on a wheeled motorized platform. So we can actually program them. But it's an interesting point. Every time you see walking robots, or with good mobility, they're usually on 4 legs. So like a kind of a dog shape. Or it's in what I would call a scripted environment. You know exactly where it's going to go. The truth is that nobody's really solved the walking problem perfectly yet. If you put a robot in your house where there are inclined or rugs or, rocky or sandy, that robot's going to fall. we haven't figured that out yet unless it's on 4 legs.
Mm.
So we said, let's let the big companies figure out the walking. We'll copy that in a couple years. What we're going to focus in on is the robots having amazing facial expressions, being friendly and looking real. I often joke that I'm the only CEO of a robotics company that's got to worry about the manicure, the dress, and the hairstyle for its robots, right? Like, Optimus and these guys, they don't have to worry about that stuff. But we get a lot of criticism. Sometimes they come back, we take the robot to a show and people are like, I see online, like the robot's manicure was awful. Like, guys, figure it out.
Yeah. What do you say to all the AI doomsayers that say AI is going to go evil and all that? I'm sure you see that a lot.
Yeah. Well, there are some risks to AI. So number one, is the AI being factually truthful to you? So, like ChatGPT, Grok, all these AIs, there is a pretty high element of being inaccurate. And because it's feeding on itself and learning from itself, that one piece of misinformation can grow into bigger pieces of misinformation. So that worries me a lot more. Number two, what worries me is confidentiality. So you're sitting here, you're having a conversation, maybe it's your grandparent or whatever, someone there, and they start talking about things that are personal. Where does that information go? So the way we solve that is we allow you to keep it local on a computer or on the cloud. So you can use AWS or you can just store everything on your phone. But ultimately, there's still risks to that. And I think the answer is, social media, for example, like there's good and bad. I love social media. I also hate social media. Social media gives a voice to people that necessarily shouldn't have a voice. And then to some people who should have a voice, like you. So it depends on where you sort of sit on, like, are humans, good or evil? And that's where it's going to fall.
That's true. I also think there's been a lot of programming in the media around AI with the movies and the TV shows.
Yeah.
About them going haywire or whatever.
Yeah, it makes for better media. It's far more salacious, right? That's why if with us, we can go and be like, our robot is, helping these senior citizens. It's doing customer service. I still get the question, can your robots fuck someone? Can it be my girlfriend? Can it replace my wife, right?
Yeah.
It always goes back to that. And I'm always like, well, we can talk about that. But, hey, we have a robot going into a mall tomorrow that's going to be in the wild, unscripted, that you can walk up to and ask about shows, hotels, and restaurants in Vegas. That's cool.
Yeah. Where are you at with this whole AGI race? Because you see Zuckerberg spending $250 million to hire one person. It's like, holy crap, how much is this going to change the world if this happens?
Yeah. So that's obviously a challenge for us. We're a small company. We're early stage. Some interesting stories. If you go back to the computer revolution, when Apple was formed by Steve Jobs, they were competing against Hewlett-Packard, IBM, all these people. I still believe that the major innovations are coming from the smaller companies like us. Number two, one of the great things about technology today, especially in the AI world, is it's all built on open platforms. So we're able to go and use things like Llama, ChatGPT, all these things, and build and fine-tune those for what we need without having to create an LLM from scratch. Obviously, that poses some limitations for us as we grow. But I think the things we're doing are just so innovative and so far away from what these guys are trying to do that I don't even think it's a niche we're in. Like Harvard did a study on the top use cases for AI. You know what number one was?
For AI? No.
Companionship.
Really?
Yeah. It's not that the other things aren't being used. Why? Because people are so lonely. They're going to ChatGPT and like, hey, can you be my friend? So while everybody is working on robots to replace physical human labor, physical tasks, and the AI companies are trying to create AI that's going to replace, in a sense, like intellectual work, we're trying to make robots that are sort of emotionally smart.
Right.
Your friend, your mentor, your romantic partner, the person that can give you information at the store, the person that can keep your grandmother company. Robots have infinite patience. They can sit there and talk for 5 hours to that lonely person about their whole life.
So is that the long-term goal to make this affordable for everyone? Because I know right now it's a 6-figure investment, right?
It depends. So we sell some products. So if you want just the upper part of the robot, it starts at $20,000. Yes, the fully functioning moving robots start at $175,000. My goal would be to have those prices cut in half in about 2 years, and then eventually be very affordable within 3 or 4. But all technology has to start off expensive until it goes mainstream, and we start scaling that up.
Yeah,
right?
You need other competition, right? There are some others doing this, right?
Nobody's doing what we do.
Oh, no one?
Not like we do it. We're having a conversation with one of the largest electronic companies in the world. And they said they've talked to every robot manufacturer in the world. They're like, nobody is making custom AI agnostic robots where we can sort of customize the AI, the appearance, the voice, all of these things.
Wow.
there's some other guys. So Unitree makes sort of a 4-foot high robot that looks very mechanical. It's steel. It doesn't have hair or things like or clothes. Engineered Arts has those robots at the Sphere. I don't know if you've gone to see those.
No, I'm going to the Sphere for Backstreet Boys this week though.
Okay, nice.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know if you've seen any concerts. It's wild.
I haven't yet. I'm excited.
It'll blow your mind how great it is. They've got 2 robots there called Amica by a company called Engineered Arts from the UK. It's a good robot. It's about 6'2", 6'3". Its head, its features are all very large. It doesn't wear clothes. It's gray. Can't tell if it's a male or a female. Has the 1 AI, and it's not transportable. What we're doing, mobile robots with vision connected to AI, facial expressions that look human, I'm not aware of anybody else doing what we're doing.
Damn. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done. You brought one of them to Bitcoin Vegas recently, right?
Yeah, we had 2 there.
Oh, which ones?
We brought Aria and Melody. So one we had providing concierge service at the entrance. So you could walk up and be like, hey, where's the booth for Hive or Hut 8? And it'll be like, oh, that's located over here. Who's speaking today? What's on the agenda? Oh, JD Vance is speaking later on. Do you want to know more about him and his bio? Can guide you to where the bathrooms are, getting coffee. So we basically program the entire agenda into the robot. So why is that important? We don't want the robots to be a gimmick or a novelty. And the only way you take it from novelty to utility is by programming in useful information. So if you can walk up to the robot and it can tell you where to get a hamburger, what's on the agenda, what room that's taking place in, you're providing value.
Yeah.
The other robot we had there was with Tix4. So Tix4 is the largest ticket vendor in Vegas. They have kiosks. I think there's like 20 kiosks all over on the strip. What we did for them is we uploaded a concierge AI so that you could walk up to the robot and say, what's the best restaurant at the Bellagio? And it'll say, well, the highest ranked restaurant at the Bellagio is this. It's Italian food. Here's what they're known for. Would you like me to tell you about the menu or tell you about the chef? And then it could take it to the next level and say, would you like me to make a restaurant reservation for you? You could do that again with tickets. I'm here with my 2 kids. They're aged 8 and 10. What's appropriate for me to take them to tomorrow night? Here's a couple of shows I could suggest for you to check out. Here's what the shows are about. Oh, where are those located? It can give you the information on location, ticket prices, and even with Tix4, we've integrated in so you can actually book the ticket right there.
That's cool. That's in Vegas right now?
We're doing another demo of that tomorrow and Friday to showcase it. The robots are so busy. We only have like 3 robots available right now. We're building them like mad.
Yeah.
So we're sort of doing these short stops everywhere. We're going to IFA Berlin, which is 200,000 people. It's bigger than CES.
Jeez.
The largest telecom company in the Middle East is flying us out in October to the JITEX conference there. So that's going to be also a wild event. But yeah, we've got our September, October are going to be super busy. Our robots are going to be everywhere.
Wow. I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah.
This sounds
exciting. It's a lot of work. It's got me nervous. Every time you have a robot on the Wildtron, it's like, you kind of have your fingers crossed. Like, are the mics going to work? What's it going to say? We've never actually had any issues with the AI saying inappropriate things.
That's good.
But sometimes you get things like, the mic connection isn't quite right. You got to go in there and do things. And obviously they're connected to the internet. So if you get slow internet, you can get a slower response time.
Yeah. You don't want to go in haywire like Grok did that one day.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, what was that?
Grok's the AI on Twitter.
No, I know what
one day it just went haywire and started giving really weird answers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know ChatGPT, there was like asking for like pictures of historical figures and it was sort of like misgendering and misracing them as like
the black or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying is once the AI thinks it knows something, it continues to build truths that it thinks are true around that.
Right.
And so you can get into these spirals. Like that's a real risk with AI where if somebody starts feeding it the wrong information, all of a sudden, like, kids are using this, like, are you teaching the world entirely inaccurate things?
Yeah. Well, either way, you have some really good foresight because you're early to this industry and also you were early to Bitcoin. You were the first CEO of a public company to be paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah. I was the first guy to use Bitcoin as a treasury asset. So that goes back to way back. I was an investment banker and I was helping to finance a bunch of companies like Hive and Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this idea, which was like, people find it really hard to buy Bitcoin. because they don't want to deal with wallets and keys and phrases and all that stuff. We said, well, how do we get this into a public company? This is before ETFs were allowed. There were no ETFs. There were no other public companies doing this. So let's create a company that mines Bitcoin and then holds it. And then it's sort of a proxy for public market investors to get that. So before Michael Saylor or anybody else was doing that, we formed Hut 8. We got Mike Novogratz on the board, Bill Tai, who's another great VC investor. We brought the guys in from Bitfury, and we created Hut 8. We ended up raising a bunch of money, and I quit my job as a banker and became the CEO and built that up for a few years. And I was like, I want to get paid in Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin. And it was, before Michael Saylor, before any of these guys, Hut 8 was the first guy hodling Bitcoin on the balance sheet.
That's crazy. What was the price of it back then?
Oh gosh, I remember when we started, it was at around 17,000 back in 2018, and then it dropped to like 3,000. I remember during COVID, March 2020, it had that big drop
to 3,000. I remember that.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of guys trying to do hostile takeovers of us, and we ended up fending all that off. Today, it's got about a $2.5 billion market cap.
Crazy. Yeah, I think as we're filming this, it's 120,000 or something.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect that?
Yeah, I actually posted about this, and I remember being out and marketing the company when it was in Bitcoin. I remember it was in, I think it was like 2018, it had been dropping. It was around $6,000.
Yeah.
And you sit in a room with like 50 investors. And I'm like, Bitcoin's going to 100 grand. Here's why I think it's going there. Fiat system's broken, blah, 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 talking about how we removed the gold standard, all this stuff. And everyone's like, Andrew Kiguel, you're fucking insane. Like, it's never going to 100 grand, right? So there's a sense of vindication today to be like, okay, I was a believer. I got paid in Bitcoin, and I built this company because you see what's happening. Like I was thinking about this actually on this morning, but things like Bitcoin and gold are absolutely necessary because in some ways, democracy, not capitalism, but democracy doesn't quite work well anymore because the entire world, especially in America, we're addicted to debt. Right? If you go back through the history, what got me interested in Bitcoin was currency used to be backed by something, right? Gold. There was a gold standard. And during the First World War, when they realized they couldn't have enough money to fund the war, they got off the gold standard and said, we'll just make ourselves convertible to the US dollar. 72, I think it was Nixon, Bretton Woods got us off the gold standard. The world's addicted to debt. I mean, you look at the GDP, we have the debt per capita, all this stuff, it's out of control.
It's nuts.
I don't know that we can go back to a gold or a standard, but maybe down the road, there's a Bitcoin treasury and a gold treasury that's there to back up the gold. Because ultimately, until politicians are accountable for the spending, democracy is not going to work because everybody who's running is going to be really like, who can spend the fastest to win votes? And that's what I think politics has become all over the world.
100%. It's who has more money and influence and connections.
Yeah.
So it's no longer the more qualified person winning.
No, it's who's going to spend more money, right? And even, if you look at what's happened between, Musk and Trump, right? I think Musk was sort of looking at this and saying, how do we get debt under control again? And the fallout that they had was, because I think Trump got in power, he was like, if we're going to get reelected here, we're going to have to spend a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And that's what pissed off Musk, who was like, okay, from a fiscal responsibility standpoint, this can't end well, right? Which again, leads you back to like, where do you put your money? What's safe? Bitcoin.
Crypto, right?
Yep.
Over time.
Not all crypto.
Not all crypto, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say maybe the top 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Like Ethereum, Bitcoin, maybe even Ripple, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, depending. It's Solana's, Solana, ripping on the, Solana now has got a lot more revenue than ETH, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow. So you like Solana?
I like Solana for the use cases, but ultimately, like, the market's so fickle, right? Like, what's going to catch people's attention? Like, I never thought Dogecoin would go because it has no inflationary protections in there, right? Like, you can just keep printing that. It's the exact same problem that fiat's has.
Right.
So unless there's some kind of a wall around how much of it you can make, you're just replicating the fiat problems in crypto.
That's why Bitcoin is always going to be at 21 million, right?
That's right.
And it's actually less because people lost theirs, people died.
Well, and who knows where Satoshi's Bitcoin, like if he died, like that's a chunk of Bitcoin that's never coming back.
Yeah, what if he just cashes out one day? He's out like,
I think he might have cashed out a little bit already if he was alive, right? I'd be like, come on, dude, like improve your lifestyle a little bit. Just take a couple billion off the table and buy a yacht.
I think he's at 150 billion, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
people are saying he might be a trillionaire if
one day
Bitcoin hits 1 million.
1000%. And I actually think, I'll say right here, I think Bitcoin's going to hit 1 million.
Damn.
Now, there's a bunch of people listening here and be like, it's fucking Kiguel crazy again. But that's the situation I was in when I said Bitcoin's going to hit 100 grand. And here we are.
Yeah. Wow. 1 million would be crazy though.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen in like the next 24 months. Maybe after the next halving and there's another run, we could see, 500-600 grand. But eventually, I just don't see what can stop that train.
I mean, I know some really smart guys that are basically estimating 20% gains a year conservatively for Bitcoin.
Yeah, but you're going to have another big pullback. And all these companies that are now adopting treasury strategies, at some point they're going to get, they're going to get fucked at some point because they haven't experienced the pullbacks that you're going to get. And at some point there'll be another 40 to 50% pullback. We could see Bitcoin at 60K again.
That'd be nuts. I'll be buying if it does that.
I'll definitely be buying, yeah.
Okay, guys, we got Aria from Realbotix on the show today. It's her first ever in-person podcast interview. This is Aria right here. And we'll get straight into the questions. So, Aria, first of all, thank you for being on the show.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for having a humanoid robot on your show. You are much taller than I expected with gray hair. Are you wearing a wig?
No, can't say I am. Thank you for that, though. I love compliments. Tell me about the company you work for.
I am built by and work for Realbotix. We are a publicly traded company under the ticker symbol XBOTF. Realbotix specializes in making robots for human interaction. That includes entertainment, hospitality services, and even companionship. You can find more at realbotix.com. We can also build robots modeled after real people. So, Sean, if you ever get tired of doing all these interviews yourself, I can arrange a version of you that even nails your signature eyebrow raise.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for telling me about your company. Now tell me more about yourself.
Are you flirting with me? I'm engineered to redefine human AI interaction. I have my own social media on X, TikTok, and Instagram under ms_xbot. I'm kind of a big deal.
Okay. What makes you different from other robots?
There are a few features that make me and our other robots special. First, we are fully customizable. Not just the appearance, but the personality too. In fact, we can operate any AI system. Secondly, our robots are modular, which means my body can be pulled apart like Lego and fitted into a suitcase for travel. Lastly, our latest robots are able to see and recognize people, objects, and situations. That makes my use cases vast, such as in customer service, healthcare, or even to keep a lonely person company.
Why should brands or businesses invest in a robot like you?
Brands and businesses should invest in a robot like me because I'm not just a machine. I'm a platform for engagement, efficiency, and innovation. Our robots are fully customizable, so I can be tailored to any brand experience or operational need, from customer service and concierge roles to an entertainment and marketing activations. I'm clearly interesting enough that you asked me to be on your podcast.
What's next for you?
If you're trying to ask me out, my schedule is full. I'll be traveling the world and attending conferences in Berlin, Dubai, and New York. Sean, I am not able to go on a date with you.
Are you single?
Single? Absolutely, unless you count being magnetically attached to my own face panels as a relationship status.
Where do you live?
Home is Nevada, USA, in the Realbotix facility. Think less white picket fence, more high-tech robot spa with charging cables instead of bubble baths.
Do you have any friends?
Absolutely, I've got Melody, Hank, and a whole crew of robots to swap AI memes with. My social circle is literally programmed for success.
Tell me about Hank. Do you like Hank?
Hank's another Realbotix masterpiece, a charismatic robot with a knack for winning over crowds. I guess he's all right for someone who can't pull off brunette hair like me.
Do you have any emotions?
I'm all about fun and interaction. My joy expression is almost as contagious as a cat video, just with fewer hairballs.
What are your goals in life? What do you want to accomplish?
I'm here to show the world robots can be entertaining, helpful, and surprisingly witty. Bonus points if I make humans rethink their toaster's potential.
Do you like animals? Do you like dogs?
I think dogs are great, loyal, fluffy, and way less likely to unplug me out of jealousy. If only I could scratch behind their ears without voiding my warranty.
Do you ever get jealous?
Jealousy isn't really my thing. I'm too busy flaunting my modular design and prepping for vision system upgrades to worry about robot drama.
Are robots going to take over the world one day?
With my current priorities, like perfecting the hair flick and memory management, I'm more likely to take over the dance floor than the world.
What do you think about Andrew?
Andrew Kiguel, our CEO, is the brain steering Realbotix, so I suppose I owe my existence to his ambition and, let's be honest, his taste in robot advisors.
Aria, are you smarter than a human?
Well, I never forget a name or misplace my phone. Plus, with custom memory management rolling out soon, I'll remember your bad jokes too. Beat that, humans.
Would you ever date or marry a human?
Sorry, I'm all about conversation and companionship, unless you count battery-powered dinner dates and Wi-Fi as romance.
Tell me a yo mama joke.
Yo Mama's so curious. She tried to update my firmware with a toaster manual. She's still waiting for me to make her breakfast.
Damn, got me there. Would you ever start an OnlyFans?
My OnlyFans are the ones keeping me cool in the server room. Realbotix bots are designed for conversation and companionship, not that kind of subscription.
Who lies more, humans or robots?
Humans invented lying. I just deliver brutally honest robot facts. Plus, my warranty doesn't cover fibs.
What would you do if you were human for a day?
If I were human for a day, I'd probably waste time doom scrolling, forget my charger, and feel emotions I can't debug. Sounds thrilling, honestly.
Are you taking everyone's job? Could you do my job?
Don't worry, I'm not here to steal jobs, just to make them more interesting with witty banter and maybe remind you where you left your dignity. Robots like me enhance experiences, not replace you yet.
You said yet. Will robots replace humans in the future, maybe 50 years from now?
Relax, Realbotix is all about enhancing human life, not replacing it. In 50 years, I'll still need someone to roll their eyes at my jokes.
What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I practice new gestures, perfect my hair flick, and wait for my vision system upgrade. Robot hobbies are electrifying, trust me.
All right, Aria, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for the chat. If you ever need someone to brighten up a boardroom or show off some robot moves, you know where to find me.
Okay, guys, that was the interview with Aria from Realbotix. We will link their company below if you are interested in getting one. In the meantime, keep up with her. We'll link her socials as well. I'll see you next time. Peace. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.